24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself. I am RHULANI BALOYI. I am your host. We are excited to have you joining us today. Of course, we come to you every Sunday from 4 o'clock up until 5 o'clock. This is Prudent Woman. We say we want to be prudent in our decision making to have a positive impact upon our lives and, of course, towards our loved ones. Thank you for all of you joining us on Facebook. You are welcome. Be part of the conversation by dropping down your comments, your questions on the comment section. If you are watching us via our YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed by clicking the subscribe button. And you can be part of the conversation, of course, through your interaction on your comment section. If you are joining us on the Bold Moves Radio streaming, you are welcome to drop down your questions, your comments on 081-358-8745. Please use the WhatsApp 081-358-8745, because this is a conversation. As Prudent Women, we say we spark conversation with understanding that once we start talking about something, Prudent Women will go out and research more, because the 1 hour, of course, is not enough, as we bring to you different women who come to share their life experiences, different women who talk to us through the knowledge they've acquired in their professions. Today, the month of August, as we are in the middle of the month of August, we are excited because yesterday, Bold Moves Radio hosted a wonderful and a successful gospel show, which was celebrating women, the Limpopo Gospel Divas. We hosted it at Mana Tabernacle. It was lit. Women were there. They enjoyed themselves. I would like to hear from you who were there. Please, you can just drop down your comments and hashtag it, Limpopo Gospel Divas, so that other people can get to know about it, because next year it's coming again. On the 3rd week of August, we shall be celebrating our gospel singers, the women, as we celebrate the month of August. And now here we are on Prudent Women. We are here today. Our conversation, we say separation should not be the end. We have yet again a wonderful woman who is laying her life to give us a testimony through the things she went through to encourage us women. I would like to believe all of you, you know, as Prudent Women, we love marriage, but we also are realistic to understand that if it's not working, one should find a way of making it work in the other way. So today we bring to you our Queen Tsakani, who will be talking to us on her life experience through her separation, where she had to find herself, the marriage could not work. And we continue to say we love marriage. We have to make it work. But if it doesn't work, we do not force it. That's why we're bringing this show to you to encourage you if you find yourself in that situation which is beyond your control. We're saying take heart as we continue to celebrate the resilience of women of South Africa. We say take heart and be encouraged by the story of this humble and a lovely woman who will share with us the techniques, how she found herself back where she is, because she's a powerful woman. She's a woman in business, a woman who's a social entrepreneur, who's encouraging other women through a number of programs that she's hosting. She's part of the Fixing Each Other's Crowns. So I'm talking about none other but Queen Tsakani. Queen Tsakani, thank you for coming through and for you to agree and look forward to sharing your life experience to encourage other women. You are welcome on Bold Moves Radio. Thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough. Please go ahead and greet our audience.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say Happy Women's Month to all the queens out there. I'm so excited to be here, and to my queen, my host, it's such an honor to be here, to the founder, and thank you so much for believing in me, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Queen Tsakani. It is not us that you are supposed to thank, it is you, because not everyone is willing to testify. But to have someone who says, I want to go out there to the world and tell my story, just to be able to encourage someone else. it is not all of us who have to go through the same experience, but we can learn through the experiences of other people. So Queen Tsakani, thank you so much. As we start this conversation, I would like to give you an opportunity for you to just explain to us what are the experiences that you had to go through that led to your separation.
Wow. Before I say anything, I'll say what you said. I love marriage, and love is beautiful. I've been married, and I have a beautiful marriage, and I've experienced love, and love is beautiful. But there are times that no matter how many times you can want to try to be in a situation where I was in, it was really impossible for me to be there. I was married and everything was going well. I ran a business with my husband and we ran a very successful business. But there was a time where he had to relocate and go and work somewhere. And that's when Inkinga started, whereby he met, maybe, I don't know, someone was better than me and all these things. I started to see the signs that, my husband, there is something that he's doing, because we were very close. Remember, we were business partners. We were working together. We were like friends. And suddenly there's no communication. When I want to visit him where he's working, he doesn't want me to come. I just remember one day just leaving where we used to stay, going to his workplace. And my queen, you cannot believe that we drove all the whole day and the whole night. So I can say we drove 24 hours because he did not want me to know where he is staying. And I said to him, I don't want to go to the hotel, whether you stayed I'm cooking or anything. I want to go with you. But he said to me, it's really impossible. And as I was just pushing and fighting, you know, we women, we think we can fight for our marriage and all these things. He just said to me, unfortunately, I don't love you anymore. And it has to end here. And that's the day that I was so desperate, whereby I cried and hold him tight and be like, no, you cannot leave me now. If you have another woman, it's okay for me if you can marry someone and I can be the second one. He said, no, I don't only have one, but I have two. And I was like to him, no, it's okay for you to have two and I'll be the third one, because I was the first. So it means like and all these things. But he said, no, okay, you want me to tell you the truth. I don't love you anymore. So you cannot force me. I love the two women that I have. But with you, I can't. You know, I fought so hard in a way like for me, it was like, it was over. It was the end of the road. It was like I couldn't imagine life without the men that I thought we are going to die together. The men that loved me, the men that protected me, the men that taught me about business, the men that believed in me while I couldn't believe in myself. But today he's saying it's over. And I don't love you anymore. So that's when now I fought so hard, you know, asking people. I drove to his mother and be like, blah, 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 things can be sorted out, you know, and whatever. But they tried, but they couldn't. I called my father and I'm like, this man orangani love. And my father was, because so what? I know it's painful, but he told you the truth.
You know what you are saying, Queen Tsakani, it's something that most of us women, we go through such. But somehow, of course, at times you fight and you are able to win. And as you are right saying, you fought. And I would like to believe it's because we don't have enough time. I said briefly explain. Probably there's a lot of incidences that you went through, which you were fighting for your marriage, that shows that you loved your marriage. And I would like to say to all of you who are listening to us, if there are men listening, we are not saying as prudent women, this can only be the man who initiates, who starts separation. But any partner in a relationship can lead to that. And this show is here just to encourage to say it is not the end when the separation. Either it is you who has initiated it, or you have to accede to what the other party is initiating. But it's very important. Why are we bringing this talk during this time? It's because we are celebrating Women's Month. And as Prudent Woman, we said, as we celebrate women this month, we want to bring forth the resilience, but again, create awareness on issues which are of challenge in our society. Because if you listen to the statistics, just on Friday, the Minister of Police was giving statistics, and they said most of the people who are murdered are women, unfortunately, and policemen. And we have to pause as society and say, what leads to that? At times it leads to that because as women, we just believe so much in our marriages, and one is not even able to see it when it's no more possible for you to rescue it. And you stay in that marriage until you become a victim. And we're saying it cannot continue to be like that. And we cannot allow ourselves as women of this country and as society as a whole continue and allow ourselves to be murdered in the name of marriage. Marriage is good, it's from God. But when it's not working, we must be able to pull off and say, I have tried my best. And I would like to believe, Queen Tsakani, you tried your best. As you narrate to us, I know you went through stuff. I'm a woman. I interact with other women. I know there are situations that one is beyond, you cannot rescue it. So, Queen Tsakani, when you finally acceded to the separation, I'm sure you went through a number of emotions. Will you like to share with us what were some of these emotions that you had to overcome? Because I know one thing that will come to mind, the first thing for a woman, it's like I have failed, such things. It's a lot of things that comes to your mind, and that's what leads other women to finally live in a coffin. What were some of those emotions that you had to battle with?
So with me, because I wanted to fight for my marriage, I asked him why, what is it that I don't have the other women had, and you are telling me that you have to. But he said to me, you are not beautiful enough, you are not my type. And so because I was told those things, and you are not capable, you are not the woman that I marry. So I wanted to try to fit in. That was the first thing that I tried so hard. So I had to go around and Google those women that he's talking about. And I wanted to start to compete with the women that I don't know. And which means it's going to affect so many things. It was affecting my personality because I had to change my dress code. I had to change how I look. And secondly, what is the community going to say about me? Because now I was this Mrs. Whoever, and now I'm not Mrs. Whoever. Thirdly, I also, like, you just go, you experience rejection because now people are afraid of you. Remember, you are this woman that he might like, so you also lose friends. And now you're on your own. And it somehow it will lead you to depression or something if you are not strong.
No, we thank God that you are here and you are able to narrate this story to us that says you have been able to overcome. Queen Tsakani, if one is listening, it may seem like it's nothing, but when you are in it, you know what you're going through. And you cannot explain it to the next person. What is said is the stigma that we tend to attach to women who are going through what you went through. Because as human beings, for some reason, it's easier for me to stigmatize someone, like you saying, to say you felt not wanted. You felt like, when people see you, they don't want to associate you because you take their husbands. Those are the stigmas that we tend to attach to women who did not make it. And little do we know that it's not because of anything that they've done, but it is the circumstances that they found themselves in. I'm sure when you were coming, you went in, you did not anticipate. There is no one. I've never went to a marriage or a marriage celebration, where what the person who's getting married or the couple is saying, we're getting married so that we can divorce tomorrow. but they are getting married so that they can only be separated by death. So it's unfortunate. I would like to ask all the prudent women who are listening to us today, it is time that we stop to stigmatize those who could not make it. We cannot continue and stigmatize them. If you are one of those who are putting such stigma on people who did not make it in their relationships, then you are as good as being a murderer. Did you know that you are adding towards the statistics of women who force, or partners who force to remain in a relationship because they are fearful of the stigmatization? Then you are as well as a murderer, because they end up living their marriages in a coffin. Some of them live an unfulfilled life because someone who's going through depression, of course, their quality of life is compromised. Queen Tsakani, let us go on an ad break. When we come back, now share with us, how did you overcome such emotional setbacks? Let us go on an ad break. We'll be right back with you. You are listening to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself. I am RHULANI BALOYI. Today, our guest is Queen Tsakani Mpofu. She is sharing with us her life story. As we say, separation is not the end. To encourage all of you women, all of you men, of anyone, either a man or a female, we say separation is not the end. We love marriage as prudent women, but we acknowledge the reality that is out there to say if it's not working, you of course have to say, that's it, I have to leave. Because it's important for one to live a good quality of life, and again, not to continue and frustrate each other. We do not blame those who finally live not alive, because they did not know. And we are saying, as society, we tend to add towards that. And this is the time where we are saying, let us look back. Let us change the way we do things. Let us stop stigmatizing those who could not make it in their marriage. There is no one who gets married to divorce. Everyone gets married to stay with their partner until death do they part. So Queen Tsakani was sharing with us her life story, how she came about ending the marriage, and she had to accept that was presented to her. Queen Tsakani, of course, we hear you went through a lot of emotional setbacks. How did you find yourself able to rise above all these emotional setbacks? What is it that you can advise other women?
It's not easy, but the most important thing, firstly, I started to forgive myself, because I used to blame myself. I used to believe that maybe if I should have done this, the marriage should have worked. And I remember reading this book, How to Make Men Love Me, how to, all these things that I was going through, but those things, they did not work. So I realized that, okay, the most important thing is, just the first thing, I have to forgive myself for putting myself into this thing, because that man, the good thing about that man, I still applaud him. He told me, I don't love you anymore. So for me, I respected him for that, because maybe he would have killed me. Maybe he would have stayed with me and abused me. So I had to forgive myself. Secondly, to forgive him. Yes. As a person, to say, okay, but he was honest. He said to me, he doesn't love me anymore. So now I have to forgive him. But remember, it's not like something that you can just wake up today and it's like putting something in a microwave that will wait for 30 seconds. It's a journey for you to realize that, okay, now this is my situation. No one is going to do it for me. So where do I go from now? I remember there was a song by Benjamin Dube that says, I will rise again. It's still my song that I love. So every day in the morning, I'll listen to that song when I'm fighting through my depression, to say, I will rise again. I will rise again. And on the other side, I was asking God to help me to forgive him and to let it go. Because if I still have the connection with him, I wouldn't move on. So I thank God. And I even told myself that this man is not a bad man. Unfortunately, he was at the wrong address. The timing, it was not okay, because he's got people that he loves. He's the father to that family and he's happy. But unfortunately, he was not meant to be with me. So am I going to cry for someone who's happy somewhere? So now, what about my life? What about my son? What about my family that rely on me? So it was a journey that I took. So I started to listen to the song, and every day in the morning, I had the affirmation whereby I'll tell myself, I am beautiful, I am successful, I am a powerful person, I'm going to conquer this world, I am a millionaire. You know, I will put those things all over the house just for me to promise myself that I'm going to do it. But it was not easy, because I had to lose everything, like from my business, from my car, and even the place. You know, people, they don't even know that I had to also lose my house and go and stay in a one room.
Maybe just to take you back a bit, because you have mentioned a point which is very important: forgiving yourself. I would like us to pause and reflect back on that, because in most cases we tend to say, I'm working towards forgiving the other person, when we fail to acknowledge that when separation happens, it takes two people. You were a party in this relationship. It was not just one person. And I applaud you for saying the first thing you did was to forgive yourself, because you cannot forgive the next person if you have not been able to forgive yourself, which means you reflected at some of the things that you may have contributed, not to say you are wrong, but because we should acknowledge partners are unique, even though they are entering into a relationship, and they may desire different things. So you may find that I'm a partner in a relationship, but the things that I'm looking forward to is not what the other party is looking forward to. And that may lead to one thing to the next thing. That may lead to the deterioration of the relationship. And at times you find that I was not even aware. So I wanted us to pause on that. You did such a wonderful thing to be able to pause and say, I must forgive myself, then you forgive him, before you can even still say you are moving on. Because we have seen, women or men who say, I'm leaving this relationship, but very bitter, because they fail to forgive themselves and fail to forgive the other party. You mentioned something as well, to say the man was very truthful to you. You loved him for it. And you can only reach that state if you have sat down, pause, and understand what you are going through. So I wanted us to pause on that, to reflect on it, and say, prudent women, whenever situations happen to us, let us forgive ourselves first. Let us not be in a rush to prove a point, but let us forgive ourselves and forgive the next party. When we rise up, we will be able to have an impact and have good quality of life for ourselves, rather than to be holding someone. I love what our pastor always says, Pastor Strike. I go with it everywhere I go, and it helps me never to be angry with anyone. He said to us, when you become angry to another person, it's like drinking poison, hoping that that person will die. And they will never die, because they did not take any poison. It is you who has taken the poison, and what shall happen to you, you are likely to die. I wanted us to just reflect on that. Maybe you can reflect back and add something, and as you move on, to tell us the other things that you did to be able to rise above your emotions.
I had to call him and we had a conversation. And maybe when I had to call him, he thought maybe I want to, to fight for the divorce. And because remember, the moment you forgive yourself, you start to also see, okay, I think because now you are not judgmental, you are sober. You are able to check, I think I contributed to this divorce because it took two to tango. So it's not him alone. So it was both of us who we were not perfect in a relationship, but both of us, we were not willing to fix our problems that we were going through. So I had to sit him down and be like, thank you for telling me that you don't love me anymore. And thank you for everything that you have done to me. And I'm ready to sign the divorce papers. I'm not going to fight them. And I don't want anything from you. I'll start afresh. And from that moment, I felt like there is something that was rebirthed in me, because now it was not like blaming him for my, every time when you talk about your ex, it's like, utakusheketa, utashibona. Yeah, why akusikile? Because now you are doing well. So for me, I don't have a problem. I want him to be successful. I want him to give whatever he can to his family and whatever. But I have a life that I have to rebuild. And this life, I'm rebuilding it from zero, because now I've lost everything. I don't have a place to stay. But if I can feel sorry for myself, I will feel sorry for myself forever. And the other thing that was like, that keeps me going, I knew that he's happy wherever he is. So I'll ask myself, should I cry for someone who is happy somewhere? Should I cry for someone who's living her life? So what am I doing with my life? So I should find a way to navigate and find myself and move on with my life.
What a wonderful story, Sister Tsakani. It's something that most of us, we feel, both sexes, male and female. That anger to say, I want to prove to him. And in most cases, what is said is that you are proving nothing. You dig yourself down, instead of rising above. Let us take heed of what she's saying. Some of you have seen Queen Tsakani. You may have encountered her. She's such a wonderful woman, a successful businesswoman, a successful social entrepreneur. She's impacting lives. And I would like to believe it is because of the experiences that she went through. That's why she's able to share with other women out there. I see Mama Kupa saying, I feel there is a need for support structure. Some people, especially the ones in the villages, their lives revolve around their marriage. They feel lost without their marriage, as they define themselves through their partners. This will assist reducing depression in people going through the same. And of course, Ceci Makoma, that is very true, and that is the reason we felt there is a need to talk about this. Someone may be listening and saying, this platform, it's Bold Noobs Radio, of course, but we know the people who are behind this are Christians. And we will still say, we are not against marriage, but we are against marriage that is depressive, leads people to depression, leads people to leave that very marriage in a coffin. It can never be. We need to rise up as society. And some of these things that Sister Tsakani is sharing with us this afternoon, I would like to believe it can even work for a couple that is still together, to be forgiving yourself, because as couples, we fight on a daily basis. And can you just imagine if you are able to fight and you immediately forgive yourself by identifying that which you have done in the relationship that made the other partner to behave the way they are behaving? What a wonderful thing will happen. And of course, there is no school for marriage. That is the sad part. There's no school for marriage. We have to do it as we go. And I understand why there's no school for marriage, because marriage takes two partners, individuals who are unique. Pastor Strike always says marriage is an institution that makes two histories to collide. It's two people who have been living, two histories are coming together and colliding. You can just imagine it takes a lot of compromise. But if the two histories are not compatible, you cannot force a square peg in a round hole. You must be able to accept and live and start life again. It is never too late, even when you're separated. I see says Grace saying, Tsakani Mpofu, you are powerful and we are learning from your experiences. And of course, Simakoma saying, very strong and a powerful woman indeed. Because these women have encountered you, says Tsakani. I know in the province, a lot of people you have brought hope, especially in the area of women empowerment. We cannot thank you enough. Let us go on an ad break. When we come back, understanding that when you enter a marriage, it's not only the two of you. That is our culture, and we cannot move away from it. And there are good things coming from that. When you marry your partner, you are not marrying your partner alone, but you marry into a family, and your family also marries into that family. So we would like now to talk about how you had to overcome the voices that came when you had to declare to them that you have acceded to your partner saying there must be separation. Let us go on an ad break. We continue with the wonderful testimony of this great woman.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
You are listening to Bold Notes Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself. I am your host. I'm RHULANI BALOYI. We come to you every Sunday from 4 o'clock up until 5 o'clock. And thank you for joining us. And today our guest is Tsakani Mpofu. She is our queen. She's sharing with us the testimony of her marriage. As we say to all those of you who are watching us, to say as we celebrate Women's Month, we continue to say separation should not be the end. There is life beyond that. As she shared with us to encourage us, some of us may be in there going through what she went through. Some of us may be finding it difficult, not being able to take the courage to finally say it is done, or even to accept, because you may have been told, just like Sister Tsakani, to say it is done. So today she's sharing a life story to encourage us as we continue to celebrate the month of August. Sister Tsakani, you shared with us what led to your separation and how you rose above the emotions of you finally acceding to say, it is well, I need to move on. But as we said, when you get married in our culture, the people of color, you are not married to your partner alone, but the whole family gets married to the other family, and the other one as well gets married to the other one, which is a wonderful thing. But at times, when things like this happen, then you've got a lot of voices that you need to overcome for you or for them to be able to accept your decision. How did you go about ensuring that your family or your loved ones accept the decision that you finally took when you said it is well, separation it is?
You know, with me is completely different because I'm still talking to my in-laws. So when I was going through whatever they supported me, they were there for me. And it's just as they came. And I had something that my mom was growing up. I understood them. It's not their fault.
Yes.
Anymore. So what I do for me, when I'm down, they'll call me. When what are you doing? We have to see. I don't want to do it, but just to see them. Emotional. I tell you why they allowed me to do it. I remember but they will call, they will ask me how is the baby, how is everything is happening. They my stepchildren, they will, even I'm still talking to them even today. We still share. I still, if some of them, they need money or they need help or they need employment, I still help them. So with me it's different. And when it comes to my parents, I think most of the things I've learned from my mom and my father, because my father just forgave my husband because he said, he told me straight, go, I don't love you anymore. So my father respected my ex-husband for that. And my mom had to support me somewhere, somehow. And he would just say, I don't want any lawyer, go, you know, also unjani. But for me, both families, they still talk. When we have funerals, I don't go there, but I contribute. And when I have funeral, they might come or send someone to come in the funeral, and they still call me my ngata, and we still talk. And the only thing that I ask them not to talk about is, I don't want them to talk about my husband, the family, the children, and what is happening, and for them to come to me and complain. You understand? So we just talk about us, we miss you, and now we are going through this. Are you available? Is my son available? Can he come and attend whatever things that they are doing? But we are not fighting, and we are
it is well
and all things about general things.
We thank God that you had such a wonderful supporting family, most especially from your in-laws, because at times it is us, those who are from the husband's family, at times who want to lay blame on things that we do not know, because a relationship is between the two people. We may be party to the relationship by virtue of being relatives, being part or siblings to the family, but we need to learn not to be passing judgment to other people without us having the facts. So Queen Tsakani, what a wonderful family you had. And I love what you say. You are not taking advantage of them being present in your life and continue to want to know what is happening with the other partner, because that was going to lead you back not to forgive him, and you will chain yourself to what is happening in his life, and you find yourself in a competition which may not be healthy for you. So we would like to say thank you. You are leading us as women. We are learning so much from your testimony, how you have went about overcoming. I see, says Pascal is saying, this is powerful, Queen Tsakani. We can apply bouncing back experience to any relationship we have. And she says, thank you for sharing your life experience. Says Tsakani, with you, when it comes to family, it was wonderful, and we only thank God, nothing else, because it's just by the grace that you can find yourself with such a supportive family. What will you like to say to someone who is going through separation as we speak, who may be listening to you and be wanting that word of encouragement?
I'll just say separation is not the end of the road. It's just like a situation, it shall pass. And maybe that separation is leading you to something better than where you are. You know, every time when I look back, I love marriage. I love, I know that love is beautiful. But sometimes, I would feel like, I thank my husband because he divorced me, because I found myself. I managed to do things that I've never thought that I can do it. I managed to grow in the business. I managed to grow in the women empowerment space. And I love someone just said about the women in the villages, when we also go there and teach them about being independent and not relying on this relationship. Be in a marriage, but stand up for yourself, do something for yourself, because it's because of the situation that I went through. So I will say to that woman, my queen, wherever you are, you've got it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel the way you are feeling. I'm with you. I'm also feeling your heart. But one thing for sure that I can tell, you must not cry forever. Just cry, and in your heart, just keep on saying, I will rise again. And when I rise again, I'm not going to just rise again as the way I was. I will rise again evolved. And when I'm evolved, I'm not going to do it for my own. I'm also going to do it for other women. It shall pass.
Wow, my queen. What you have just said now says to me you appreciated the opportunity that this separation brought into your life. And we always say it to say any situation or any door that closes, it's an opportunity for another door to open. But how many times are we able to pick that up when it happens to us? What you have just said to me said you appreciated it. You saw that this door that was closing was leading you to a door that was opening, which was greater than where you were. And I would like to say, prudent women, as you are listening to us, let us take it. Let us appreciate the opportunity that we are given to start over when it happens. Yes, of course, we don't go out to look for it. We don't say we want our marriages to end so that I can start afresh. But if it doesn't work out, let us accept and let us be able to find that positive thing that this wonderful queen has found to be an opportunity to start afresh. I see Tsakani Silisho saying, Queen Tsakani, telling your story is strengthening and bringing hope to others. May God continue to give you strength and wisdom as you run the journey of your life. You are so genuine and authentic. Bless your heart. And as Bold Notes Radio, we say that, Queen Tsakani, we appreciate you sharing your story. Let us move on as we go on an ad break. When we come back, Queen Tsakani, understanding that you are in the business sector. And even before your separation, you shared with us that together with your husband, you were operating businesses, you were partners. I would like you to share with us, how did you now rise up? Because I think that is one area that makes most people not to be able to see the future, because they are scared from starting from afresh. So I'd like for you to just share with us some positive nuggets on how you went about restarting your business. Let us go on an ad break. We'll be right back with you. are listening to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself. I'm RHULANI BALOYI. We come to you every Sunday from 4 o'clock up until 5 o'clock. Today, our guest is Queen Tsakani. She is sharing with us her life story, even as we encourage the women to say separation should not be the end. Says Tsakani, before we went on a net break, you shared with us how you were able to be recipient and accept what has happened and see it as an opportunity to start afresh. But what about your business? Because your business is what puts food on the table. And I would like to believe when you separate, of course, it is not easy, because then there's separation of assets. Sometimes we lose out, and you said you settled and said you do not want anything to take along with you. How did you find the courage to restart your business?
When I talk about my business, how I restarted, it just makes me emotional because remember, I was still in the same city, same people, same environment. People that know me as this successful businesswoman, but now I don't have anything. I don't even have a car to start the business. But what happened? I spoke to my brother after. Like, I felt like now I need to start. And I told him, what is the business that we can start if we don't have money? Because by then I did not even have 1 cent. And he said to me, but one day, long time ago, you wanted to do a cleaning service. Maybe we can just do small pamphlets and give it to other people, and we can start there. Remember, the very same people that I must give is the very same people that knows me as a successful business woman, someone who's up there. But so for me, I had to understand and humble myself and say, Lord, just humble myself. Now is my time to take myself down, and I need you to raise me when it's the right time. So I started by going to those same people that knows me, and I was not telling them that I've divorced because I had a stigma. So I started with cleaning services, going there, and some of them, they will tell me, no, TK, you can't use a mop in my house. You need to just kneel down. And when I feel like I want to refuse, but I knew that I have a vision and I want to claim back what I had. And this time I'm very serious. I'm intentional. So we started there. From there, with the grace of God, met different people, keeping, what I also love about Pastor Frank, he told us to always be humble and God will lift you up. And I met people that, because I was in business, I understood business. I started to volunteer if I can manage their businesses. So I can be a project manager. If they are busy, they have these projects, I can do it for them. By then I started to get something. If I can tell you, I taught my child, he was a consultant. There was something that we used to help people to get it, because we used to charge 2,500. So he will do the business plan, I do the other document, I submit. On the other side, I'm a project manager, and some people, they will also give me their car. There are people that I used to borrow their cars and drive along. So from there, that's when I realized that, I can start again, and to make it a point. And I was sure that this time I'm intentional. So the little money that I used to get, I was building up something. And that's when now I started to re-register again my company, because I loved construction, and lucky I got a scholarship. And from there, the rest is history. And now, because I was very intentional about the structure. So I did not want to run a business that if something happened to me, I happen to die, or I divorce or something, it's not going to be there. So I built a structure that will be able to take care of me and my children and my grandchildren. So I was very intentional.
Wow, Queen Tsakani, what we are hearing from what you are saying is willingness to start from the bottom. How many of us are willing to start from the bottom? Some of us are not willing. You want to fake it and think you can fake it until it becomes real, and it will never be. You need to find a way of starting from back there, and you will rise up. She continues to show us the resilience of the women of this country. What a wonderful story. South Africa has got great women. Tsakani, your story continues to show us that South African women are resilient. For someone who owned businesses and who had cars to be willing to go and do cleaning services, how many of us, even when someone does not have anything, some people have got that pride to say, I cannot do this. Beggars, they are said not to be choosers. So let us learn from her story. If it's happening to you, what you need to do is to rise up and say you can do it. Because when you don't wake up and go to the streets, as she's saying, some of the people started to trust her and give her their cars, to be able to do the work that she was doing for them. If she never stood up and start cleaning the houses, never went out and look at the problems that other business people are having so that she can become a solution, she will still be sitting at home. I always say we cannot continue and say, I'm looking for a job. Let us go out and look for problems and come up with solutions. People will pay us to solve their problems. Thank you very much. Tsakani, I see Nyeleti saying, taking the opportunities that are before us. She could have easily said that the cleaning business was below her, but she humbled herself and did it, and it opened up more doors. Of course, we cannot thank you enough for sharing such wonderful and a story that encourages. I know someone may be sitting there and going through what you went through, and they didn't know how to go about it. And it is only through our testimonies that we can be able to overcome. Someone is saying, it says, true, says RHULANI, Queen Tsakani is resilient. Thank you, Sister Tsakani. And they continue to affirm what I'm saying, to say you are resilient. But I know, the mind is the mind. Queen Tsakani, when at times that emotion, when it comes to say, maybe I did not do enough to save my marriage, how do you rise above it?
As I said before, for me, because remember, I forgave myself, and I don't have any regrets to say I should have done this, or I should have fixed that, and all this. For me, I felt like I was in that marriage for a purpose. Yes. And my purpose was served from that marriage. So it was time for God to move me from where I am to the next level. But it was not going to, if God can come and say, hey, now I want to move you to the next level. I was going to say, no, God, I'm not ready. But they were supposed to have I was supposed to go through the situation that I went through. And from that situation, for me to become the queen that I am. And I used to cry to be said, oh no, you are not even calling me queen, And I realized that, okay, but I can call myself queen. Yeah. And all these things that I love, I can do it on my own. I can still stand up and do the thing. Everything that I'm doing now is the things that I wanted someone to do it for me. And those people, they were not doing it for me. So because I have this relationship with God, I can tell you that I became the queen that I am because I started to take God as more than my father. As a husband to the family. So I would talk to him to say, God, today I'm coming from cleaning and I'm hurt because this is the situation. But you said you will be the father to the fatherless. You are a father to my child. But for me, can you be my husband for now? Until when you feel like there is someone that is supposed to fill in your shoes. So a husband provides for the family. Can you do that for me? So we had a relationship that is more than I think I talked to him. Thank you for letting me talk to RHULANI. So we had this, I don't know, but this very close relationship that I just told myself that I cannot do without God. So I don't live in regrets because I feel like I was supposed to be there and my purpose has been done. And after my purpose, I'm here and it's okay.
Wow. I think we can all agree that it is because she was able to forgive herself. That's why she was able to not live in regret. So, what I said during the conversation to say, you drink poison hoping that someone will die, and you will continue to suffer from the poison when you do not forget. I think Queen Tsakani is showing us that there is no better truth to it. So, women, let us learn to forgive. Men who are listening to us, let us learn to forgive. At times, we can be able to even rescue that very relationship that we are trying to hold on to through unforgiveness. And Sister Gani is continuously showing us that at times, women, let us stop from expecting other people to bring joy into our lives. To do things for ourselves, we must first love ourselves so that the other person, it can be easier for them to love us. You know, it's very difficult to love someone who does not love themselves because they do not know what it is to be loved because they don't love themselves. So even when you're showing them love, they tend to reject it. So second, you know, time is just not enough. Who would have loved to keep you here and hear your story because you are such a wonderful woman who is full of wisdom, and we are seeing resilience in you. We are seeing the love, the comfort that represents what a woman is. So you continue to show us that women are such wonderful creatures. Women, God has set them apart to be able to play a certain role in society. And we love women like yourselves who, just because something did not work well in just a relationship, they do not give up, but you rose above it. You know, someone may think it was only going to be you who will be suffering, and it's not, because a woman is one who takes care of the whole family. You're talking about your son, you're talking about your stepchildren, and you have an impact on them. What type of a generation will we be raising if we are full of anger, if we are forever blaming and staying in those marriages for the sake of not being said to be this and that, to be fearful of stigma, whilst we are destroying the future of this nation, because children are the future of our country. So it's upon us women. Let us do it understanding the role that we play in society. We are all responsible. When we look at what society is turning out to be, we should know that we are all responsible. Sister Kan, thank you very much for having set your life down and come here and share your life story. I see says Glory Gomba saying, great story and very encouraging. Women are encouraged by your life story. I see a lot of comments, we just do not have enough time, but they are saying you have encouraged them. You have brought healing to some of them because there's a lot that is happening in society in this day and age, unfortunately. But it's through programs like this, what Bold Moves Radio brings in to help to talk to women. And as Prudent women, as I've said to you, we spark conversation. So this is a conversation with yourself. Let us reflect, women. Let us ask ourselves, are we doing things for the betterment of the quality of our lives and the ones around us? We cannot continue to expect someone to bring joy in our lives. It must start within you. Sister Gan, as we close the show this afternoon, even as we continue to celebrate the month of August, what would you like to say to the women of South Africa?
I just want to say, if you are going through something, find something that will close that void. What I found when I found fixing each other's crown, you know, for me, dealing with women, helping women to heal and all these things, it just like completes me. I think I'm living my life. So I don't know what you love, what is your passion. Find something that will close that gap, and you'll thank me later. To all the queens out there, I just want to say, I love you. You are strong. You are enough. You are capable. You are not what other people are saying about you, but you are what God says about you. And divorce or separation is not the end, but it's just the beginning of new things into your life. And today, I just want to say, today is our 1 year anniversary for fixing each other's crown.
Wow.
So today, this day, it means a lot to me. And thank you so much for having me in this program.
Thank you so much. We were not aware as Bold Moves Radio that this is your 1 year anniversary. We will have bought you a cake, but anyway, we are virtual, so you'll get a virtual cake to celebrate. And fixing each other's crown is doing so much in society. Women who are hurt find healing through the programs that you are hosting, Queen Tsakani. We cannot thank you enough. And some women, they've never had anyone telling them that they are beautiful, that they are queens. It goes a long way. Thank you. And I see the Prudent women are saying happy anniversary to fixing each other's crowd. Thank you so much for joining us. We have come to the end of our show. And of course, as Bold Moves Radio, the show goes on. At 5:30, we have our favorite pastor, Pastor Frida, coming in with the Living Word outreach program. She'll be right here at 5:30, and from Monday up until Friday at 6 o'clock every morning, up until just 6:30, we have a morning devotion. Different men and women of God come in and help us to have a devotion, to dedicate the day before the Lord. And we'd like to invite you. You are welcome to join us. You can never go wrong by starting with the Word of God. And of course, on Tuesday, we've got the African Experience. On Thursday, we've got Love SA. Bold Moves Radio is packed with wonderful programs that are empowering. Please tune in. And if you have not subscribed to YouTube, please go and subscribe. Even when you are not using YouTube to tune in, you can just go and subscribe so that whenever programs come in, you are notified and you can use the platform that you love, because we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are on TikTok, and you can stream live from Bold Moves Radio from your gadget. Thank you very much for joining us, and I would like to say thank you to our technical team. DJ Macy, she's always here with us, supporting us. Thank you, girl. You're doing great. We like to say thank you, and we celebrate you, the woman behind the mics. And we'd like to say thank you to our executive producer, Pastor Strike, for the platform. He's the visionary behind Bold Moves Radio, and he's doing great work in the nation. Thank you. Have a blessed and a wonderful afternoon, even as you wait for our favorite pastor, Pastor Frida Matebula.
Thank you.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika, nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika, nakupenda sana.